First of all, the Avery Normal Institute was organized actually in 1865 by the American Missionary Association, which was an organization that was comprised of blacks and whites, whose mission, by and large, was to organize and support educational institutions throughout the South during the aftermath of the Civil War. And of course, Avery is just one example of that level of commitment and support demonstrated by the American Missionary Association. Now, as far as Avery was concerned, Avery was a private school. It had a classical or liberal arts kind of curriculum, teaching subjects like math, science, Latin, Greek, and drama. And of course, those young people who were fortunate enough to attend did exceptionally well. And in fact, if you look at the development of black leadership in this community, invariably you have to look at the role that Avery played in that process. Avery was blessed with some very dynamic leaders as principals. Of course, we have to recognize Reverend Francis Cardoza, who was a free person of color, who was educated in Europe, who was assigned to provide leadership to Avery during the very early stages. And then we kind of fast forward to the early 20th century, 1914, thereabout. We know that Professor Benjamin Cox and his wife Jeanette Cox provided outstanding leadership during that tenure. And if we look at that particular component of the Avery legacy, of course we would have to include the numerous young people that were trained here as teachers here at Avery. And in fact, that is what the term normal means in the title. Young people were trained as teachers, and of course people like Septima Clark, who was an outstanding educator and later went on to be a civil rights and human rights advocate of international renown. She being just one of the numerous young people who finished here at Avery in the teacher's training program. And so that component, that teacher training component of the Avery experience would have a tremendous impact on education in general throughout the Tri-County area, but black education in particular. Avery would make the transition or move from a private school in 1947, and it would become a public high school, and it would continue in that mode until 1954, at which time the school would be closed. In 1985, the Avery Research Center for African American History and Culture at the College of Charleston was founded, and about 5 years later, in fact in October of 1990, the Avery Research Center base of operations opened here in this particular building, with the primary mission being to collect and document the African and African American experience. Given the enormity of the African and African American contributions to the history and culture of this region, it stands to reason that a repository or an archives to house those source materials was needed. And it was due to the efforts of members of a historical organization, some of whom were graduates of Avery, and the administration at the college joined hands to make that dream a reality. The Avery's collections have been utilized to educate the larger community, and we see that as a very important part of the center's work. Additionally, what we've managed to do over the years has been to develop exhibitions from the center's collection. And of course, once those exhibitions are no longer on display here at Avery, we use them in our outreach program. We make them available to schools, to community-based organizations at no cost. And that's extremely important to the work that we do here at the center. And of course, we make presentations throughout the year, throughout the Tri-County area as well.